this is a very interesting topic because I believe all organizations here are actually looking for business success and taking all initiatives possible to make that happen. Now we are actually living in an era where unprecedented pharmaceutical advancements have been the norm. So I'll actually open these questions to all of you, and beginning with you, sir. Two-pronged question. Now, how can leaders ensure that they remain at the forefront while they're leveraging innovative breakthroughs to drive sustained growth and competitiveness, and also safeguard their intellectual property rights? So, if you could begin with this.
Hello. Good afternoon. This is Dr. Kumar. I am leading IPR department in BDR group of companies, and thankful for giving me opportunity to participate in this panel session. And intellectual property rights is the key to drive the company's success means in the competitive pathway. So nowadays, safeguard comes when we go into the collaboration with any other companies. Once you are into the collaboration with other companies, now it's your part to look into your intellectual property rights thoroughly, and as well as the intellectual property rights of others. Means intellectual property rights means in the pharma company, most of the times it would be based on the patents, which type of protection we are giving to the patents, whether they could be the product patents or process or whatever it is. So what are our strengths of the APR as well as the strengths of the competitors, means to whom we are going to collaborate. And based on that, what to be disclosed with them and what not to be disclosed and what to be keep confidential. And that too, the collaboration is also in what sense, whether they are related to a few molecules or into the specific therapeutic category or it is into the other type of things. So based on that, we have to give our safeguard towards the intellectual property rights. And at the same time, suppose nowadays the trend is changing because suppose if I take the example of some enzalutamide like molecule, earlier the thing was it is completely into the capsules. So the complete research was and everything was into the capsules and BE studies or everything was done through the capsules. Now the trend is completely moving into the tablets. So now there is a need of collaboration with the markets where they are more into the tablets compared to the capsules. So which my company is also right now making it. And at the same time, rather than comparing ourselves with the competitors in terms of regular manner, it is better to think it within a strategic way to analyze the market as well. And with the strategic evaluation only, I could say that BDR is the only company right now marketing, commercializing the apalutamide drug in India, where no other, including innovators, also not there in that. So with the strategic type of thinking only, and at the same time, we have done the intellectual property protection for that apalutamide molecule also.
Right. So you mean to say that strategic thinking is probably the mantra for leveraging the innovative breakthroughs.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, if I could ask you to answer these two questions.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. And first of all, thanking Elets for giving us the opportunity being here. I flew down from Hyderabad only to attend this program. Right?
Thank you so
very much for that. There are two parts of your question. One is how do you leverage the innovative situation currently, and how do you look at the intellectual property rights? I think pharmaceutical industry has to have newer innovations going on in a consistent manner, because I believe coming from a background of 2/3 of my career has been with innovative companies, and the last 1/3 of my career has been with domestic pharma commercial organizations, where we have been into generics, first hand generics and second hand generics. So the first part what I like to say is you have to have a lot of investment going on in terms of innovation, not only in terms of invention of the product, in terms of your the way you present the product, the way you give the benefit to the patient, the different ways of benefit to the patient. That's consistently need to happen. For example, if you look at my organization, current organization like Natco Pharma, they have been emphasizing 100% from the beginning on innovation. Right? There have been a lot of products in oncology, hepatology, then even in cardio-diabetes segment, we have been first generics has been introduced, and that has been the foray, what we call of Natco Pharma all along the last 30 years, giving the best of the medicine, world-class medicines at the most affordable price. But at the same time, we also need to look at the intellectual property, as Dr. Tej was talking about, and which is also required to protect the commercial side of the interest of the innovators. I feel, as you said, collaboration is going to be the key mantra. What I have observed in the last a few years, where few decades back, collaboration was not at all there by the innovator to Indian companies, whereas the last few decades it has started. But I think it should take more and more foray into the market. More and more collaboration should happen. Innovator cannot keep his brand, according to me, because as I said, 2/3 of my life has been with the innovator. We launched, global molecules in India, and later part I've been being in India. I would say people should get an affordable medicine. If affordability has to be there, there has to be give and take policy should happen, and innovators should be forthcoming in having collaborations, lot of collaborations within India, and with Indian pharmaceutical organization by sharing the technology and of course by sharing the product as such. I think this is the way it should be for taking it forward, because India still, I would say, in terms of pharmaceutical healthcare system, we are behind in terms of most of 90% of our people are all self-paid.
Right.
So they cannot afford.
Right.
They cannot afford the medication compared to our Western counterparts. So as long as the government is still sticking on to their health policies as like what we have currently, we need to have affordable medicine for Indians. I think innovation by Indian companies and of course collaboration by the innovators through Indian companies for better affordable quality and affordable medicines. That's the way out.
Thank you. Mr. Nath, your
So I think thank you so much first of all for having us here, and I know it's most difficult task for all of you to sitting here after lunch and listening to all of us. So we'll try to keep it a little engaging and we'll not bore that much. I promise that we three haven't met that, but I'm sure I can read all three that we try to do that. So I think two pieces like you have asked what is innovations with the collaboration. If you really ask, and I think my co-panelist has rightly said this. As an industry, I think there's hardly any collaboration. If you see, apart from the life-saving drugs, so we have seen that when we wanted vaccines for COVID, everybody wanted to collaborate. But when it's come to the different therapy areas and different medicines which are not life-saving, I think there are hardly any innovation happening. Also, apart from that, there is a collaboration is rare. So I believe as Indian companies, I think we are at the global map as a pharma industry across the world. I know that we have not created Pfizer of the world or Merck of the world, but we have created Dr. Reddy's of the world and the Ciplas of the world in the country, and I think we are growing as the fastest country as an economy as well. So it's not only leader. I believe any organization, whether they are big or small, if there is any innovation which is happening, and if they think that it can be made better with the collaboration with either a small company, big company, I think that should happen, which is changing now. But as I said, that it's changing mostly on the life-saving drugs, where the mentality should change from there to that how we can make, like the co-panelists mentioned, that more affordable to the consumers. Now touching on affordability, yes, we say that we want affordability, but at the other end, when you see the skincare segment of India, the cosmetic segments of India is growing, booming a lot, where consumers are ready to spend a lot of money. So along with affordability, I think the quality matters the most. So that's what I think we all should focus. That's the piece of collaboration. On IP, I believe it's most difficult task in India these days, where we know that every 2 kilometers there's a new person coming up and opening pharma company and they copied your molecules. So even for us, we have launched a drug for acne 3 months back, and it's our patent for 2 years, but we came to know that somebody has already copied this, and possibly next 15 days this come into the market. So we are running into this kind of speed where people are just waiting for what innovation happens and we can copy and move it. So it's a very difficult task for companies like us, where we investing a lot of money, first of all doing this entire research, bringing this molecule, and then again investing a lot of money to make sure that nobody has it until we want it and we want to collaborate. So a lot of money we are also putting behind legal and other cases to stop all that, because it's not about the molecule, it's about the quality also, that the people who are making those clones might not meet those quality, where when companies who invented actually do years of research to make those molecules. So it's getting harder and harder, but I believe with systems and changing in the country, with restrictions coming into the country, the government focus, I believe this is going to strengthen going forward.
right.
For this affordability, I would like to add a few points. From intellectual point of view, in the Patent Act, we have some provision like compulsory license for this affordability. And so, as all of us know, that innovator will be selling with a huge cost, which is not affordable to the common man. So, for that, in Indian Patent Act, there is a provision of compulsory licensing, but unfortunately, it is unauthorized information. But nowadays, Indian government has in the thought of taking back that provision. So they don't want to give any compulsory licensing. If we take the compulsory licensing, means generic players take the compulsory licensing of that specific drug, it will be in the cost affordable to the common person. It almost 2/3 of the price it will be available to the common man. So right now, I don't know why this Indian government has taken this decision. It is not yet authorized, but it is going to come. So it would be better if they keep this compulsory licensing so that most of the generic companies will go to get advantage of that provision, and the medicines will also be into the public with affordable price.
Right. Actually, I was about to, touch on this point only, that how can businesses effectively harness this power of pharmaceutical breakthroughs to not only enhance profitability, but also, contribute meaningfully to global health and actually, demonstrate authentic corporate social responsibility. So, any thoughts that you have, Ms. Nara, on this?
So I think if you ask any company, they don't say that we want profitability. Everybody is their vision, mission. If you listen, they say that we all are working for humanity. And I think we all believe that for sure. But when you're working with the organization, you know that how much profitability matters, right? And I think if somebody is here from the sales, I'm sure they'll share the same burden as I'm sharing here. But I believe, like we discussed, when it comes to the life saving, I think the most valuable thing is a life for anybody. Nothing can match it. So I believe the government, as a government, coming with a lot of suggestions. I think there's already a lot of restrictions on a lot of drugs on their price increases. So that's anyways regulating that the prices should not go high. But I believe all the life-saving drugs at least should have that cap so that anybody can afford it. And when I'm saying anybody, it's not possible to afford by anybody, but at least let's say if 70-80% of the country people can afford it, I think then it makes sense for us as a country to have this entire structure in place.
Right. Mr. Ravikiran, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, coming to corporate social responsibility piece, as you said, I think, most of the organizations in India, I mean, 100% of the organizations in India are working towards it genuinely, and including my organization, because we deal with almost 60% of oncology medicines. We have, a full-fledged 200-bedded oncology hospital constructed by us and completely maintained by us in a government setup by Natco, what we call trust. And many schools and many colleges have been run by us. So that way, that's an example of what I'm giving. And most of the organizations are doing it. And post, I think, government compulsion that, CSR has to be there. I think around decade and a half back, it has been a compulsion that, percentage of your earnings should be spent on CSR. I think it's a fairly good job, I think, has been done by the industry so far. And as you said, we have been mentioning about the affordability and quality. I think, Indian companies have been doing extremely well across globally in all life-saving drugs, providing the highest quality, which has been approved by the highest authorities of like US FDA and EU and others, and at the most affordable prices, right? We have the capabilities, we have the technology with us. I think, as I mentioned, top 20, 25 companies, ranking companies, really decide on the research, and I think invention is also possible in India, right? And that I think that spending is required. But I always, assumed, companies like, I like to compliment companies like BDR and, Ecommerce, which comes top of my mind of recent times, the way they developed the quality medicines. And they're forcing all of us to shut down their plants, and our plants are rethink about buying medicines from them. I mean, raw material and, generic medicines from them and, sell on our brand name. So that's a great commendable job. I think everybody should look into it. And at least the top 25 companies who has been there in the last 40, 50 years should think very seriously about spending more money on the research and invention. That's right.
You have anything to add, sir, to this?
Yeah. In the terms of social responsibility, right now my company is not that much of bigger one. It is a medium scale company. So based on their revenue and all those things, my company is giving some 100+ of people means free medication and all those things. And along with that, while selecting the molecules also, right now they are involving few doctors also. So they are consulting doctors associations and they are taking the input from the doctors. What are the right now needed drugs exactly, rather than the competition with respect to the sales and everything, etc. So they are also taking the inputs from the doctors. What are the exactly drugs needed and what are the dosage forms needed, and based on that, our development should be considered.
Right.
So that is one of the greatest thing that my MD is taking right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. So while we are seeing innovations, we are seeing advancement. There's also, actually points us towards the need of, upskilling, continuous learning, adaptations. So, how can businesses actually drive a culture of continuous learning and adaptation so that the strategies and operations are synchronized with the latest breakthroughs and advancements?
So I think I'll answer this question with the saying that what is constant are the changes only constant. We all have heard this from a long time, and not only at the organization level, but I think I'll start with an individual level. If I am the same what I was last year, I don't think that I'll be make it what I want to become in next 2 3 years, right? So I think upskilling is important from an individually. It start with people by themselves rather than going to organization. That company should offer something to people to upskill their training or anything. But I believe in today's world, there's enough of material available online if you really want to learn something new, right? So it's individually should start with, and then yes, there are companies who are investing into upskilling their people. So our organization, if you ask, we spending huge money in terms of our current field force, upskilling from their skill perspective, from their career perspective, and there is a lot of initiative which are for our sales team, for marketing team. It's keep happening, and I believe this is happening in most of the organization. But I believe that the thought is already there because everybody knows that if we stick to same situation, and I think we all know the classic cases of Nokia. Nobody knows Nokia where they were the market leader, right? So if anybody who's not upskilling themselves, not innovating themselves in next 2 to 3 years, and that's where if you see today, pharma industry at a stage where everybody is talking about transformation, digital transformation, innovation, and I think that's happening. It's not just talking. When I've seen this industry very closely from last 4 5 years in the pharma industry, I see that people not only talking, the initiatives are happening. They are recruiting people, they are recruiting agencies to consult, and then actually getting into direction. So which not only enabling their people to upscale, their field force to upscale, but also upscale within the organization to innovate better.
Mr. Ravikiran.
I think there is one more point I also need to be added, as you rightly pointed out about internal staff being upskilled. I think in our strategies also has to be upskilled. I think we are post-COVID, we are into digital era, right? The more and more digital you become in terms of making the medicines accessible to the patients and to the industry. That's going to be the key. I think in the next 5 to 10 years down the line, whoever is going to be moving forward the fastest, I think that's going to be they are going to be the winners. They are going to be the first moving advantage always. I recently heard, I think it's a fact. A company like Cipla has started delivering medicines in Himachal Pradesh through what you call drones, right? So that's the way. That's the way you need to see that opportunities are plenty and make sure that upskilling and of course innovation happen in even the patient access piece also.
Right. Dr. Kumar.
Yeah, in my experience, from the point what I just now spoken about this trend change of from one dosage form into the another dosage form, from that learning, right now we are also making ready ourselves with the alternative dosage forms so that we can capture the market at maximum, at some extent of. So this is a kind of learning from the earlier things. Because we have spent a lot of money on the capsules part, but it is changed into the tablets. So now we are ready with the other alternatives like oral solutions or sachets, whatever it is.
Gentlemen, if I may ask you, you've all referred to digital transformation. We all know, growing technologies and new upcoming technologies. So individually, what has been one probably instance of digital usage of digital transformation or impact of digital transformation? And how do you see, your organization probably say, I'd say 5 years down the line?
So I think I love this question because my entire career is digital. I've started my own boutique firm when I was in college, and I think if you see the last 15 years journey, it's all digital. So I've actually joined organization when they really want to transform. So I've started advertising to consulting, and then worked with few brick and mortar companies to transform. So, and then also worked with pharma companies in their transformation. So transformation is not only happening at the marketing level, but I think happening at all levels. So it's happening at that how you can make your sales for more equipped. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate here that how our TBMs have moved from the diaries to having iPads today. Then those iPads which they're showing to the doctor, we all know how much time they're spending on which slide, what content they are discussing, that data coming into the backend, and then after 2 days, similar emailer is going to the doctor from their email ID that has been discussed. There's a safety study, there's a data study of that discussion which we had. And then once we see that doctor is engaging with us, after some time, we again sending most similar communication, and then ultimately we're trying to see is there an impact on the prescription. So I've done this journey for MSD when I was there, where we trying to see that the doctors which we wanted to engage, is there any impact with them on their prescription if you engage with them digitally? And we have seen a good uplift happening, close to 11% for the doctors who are digitally engaging. So I'm just taking one example, but I think that is one of the area. Then there are a lot of area in terms of their new innovation, the transformation happening, their data, analytics, social, commerce. So in all areas, the transformation happening, as I said, the pharma is enabling. Now, if you ask us today, and in Galderma, because we are a global organization, that doesn't mean that we get everything from global. I think from local innovation, as the guidelines have moved, one of our brand has moved from prescription to cosmetic. And today, that brand is roughly a 300 crore brand on e-commerce itself. So what we're looking at next 5 years, I think we're looking at to make such some more brands like this accessible to everybody across the country using digital and the technology, like co-panelists mentioned, using the drones. So either Amazon deliver or we deliver, but we're gonna deliver it because people need it, right? So I think the 5 years look very different from today for us as a country, and for us as Galderma as a organization, where I see that a lot of data gets collected, a lot of insights coming out of that data, and the data utilized to better engage, bring efficiencies, bring profitability, and bring I say togetherness, a collaboration across working for all of us.
Thank you.
I think the digital transformation has happened a lot in India, and not only in India, across the globe, especially during the COVID period. When it comes to healthcare industry and pharma, it was almost like, in COVID period, that entire lockdown and those 2.5, 3 years, it has transformed completely. But post-COVID, what I see is still the doctor-patient piece still remains to gone back to the normal situation, which actually I feel it is required, right? And coming to the knowledge dissemination, as my co-panelist was saying, I think that has taken a big leap in terms of medical fraternity knowledge dissemination through digital. It's a big leap. And I think next is going to be the patient access to the medicines. That's going to be the next leap in terms of digital transformation and technology transformation. And I think still the doctor-patient relationship and interaction still, I think it remains at the basic level, and it should remain for some more time. It might take some more time for all of us to consult a doctor and take the medicines online, right?
Absolutely.
Take the what you call treatment online. It may take some more time, I think.
So your thoughts?
Yeah, distillation is taking trivial part in pharma industry nowadays. And what I saw means I can give you one classical example of Pharmaceuticals, which is located in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. So there they have come up with an invention, means which we have protected also through intellectual property rights. They have come with an innovation that the total plant batch will go with only 2 persons. Means actually it used to take place by around 70 to 80 people, but now they reduced it to only 2 persons, and that too, one group leader will be sitting in his cabin and he will be operating all this from his computer only. This is the beautiful implementation of distillation. What in my experience I saw, that's a great thing actually.
Wonderful, wonderful. And 5 years down the line, how do you see your organization shaping up?
Yeah, my organization right now is looking into the distillation. They are not much into that one, so hopefully they will also be into that one soon.
Right. You all are business leaders. So my final question, actually, so business success for you, what does it mean, and what one mantra probably that is something that you always follow, to attain that business success.
I think that's my personal mantra. I don't say it's company mantra. It's keep changing, because I believe if we don't change, the world will move ahead of us. So I think in my entire team, we all are keep learning, and we keep failing. It's because I believe failure is the biggest learner for all of us. So typically when you work in departments like digital transformation, e-commerce, I think you try 10 things, 5 working, 5 not that doesn't work. But you need to keep trying, keep learning new things, and that's what keep us going. And I think most of the organization, that's what the people are adopting as a mantra, that keep trying and keep moving into the world which is moving even faster than us.
Right. Mr. Ravikiran.
I like to take it a little philosophical. Long time back, and I learned one word called learning is what is a constant, right? We also know that change is the only thing which is constant, should be. So I think, as my co-panelist said, it is learning and improvement on a day-to-day basis, and keep up with the world. Otherwise, you will become another Nokia. As you know, all of us know, very famous thing. I think, learning and keep changing and keep innovating. I think that's going to be my mantra.
Wonderful. So your thoughts.
Yeah, as my panelist said, keep learning and keep up to date with the technology, with respect to the technology, and up to date. And you have to be ready with the technology which actually people need. Of course, you will be having 2 to 3 technologies, but if one technology won't work out, you have to be ready with the alternative technology, so that you will never lose business from your hand.
Wonderful. I think the need of the people is what should be driving businesses forward. So I think wonderful insights. So any questions from the audience? Any thoughts? Any word? No, I think so. Thank you, panelists. Thank you so much for your time.